2 Nephi chapter 12. When my husband and I read this chapter this week, we nicknamed it the wake-up call. This chapter felt like a wake-up call, and because of that, I'm just going to go ahead and read each verse to you and tell you what springs to mind as I read it. Isaiah chapters can be hard to understand sometimes, but this one, as clear as day this time around. The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days, when the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. What is the mountain of the Lord's house? It is the temple, his house here on earth. Interestingly, a lot of temples are built on a plot of land that is high above sea level. The temple here in Tonga is built on one of the highest points in Tonga. In other countries, I know of several that I've seen personally that are built on elevated land so that they can be seen for miles around. In ancient times, God would always invite his prophets to go up to the mountain and pray to him and talk with him. In our day, we do this in a similar way. We go to the temple. This is how we go to the mountain of the Lord's house. People flow onto the temples from all countries, as Isaiah saw in his vision. We have 335 temples in various phases of operation, dotted across the globe, that people are flowing to be with God. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord. Come, let us go to the temple, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. The temple is a house of learning. We go there to learn and to communicate with the Lord and to receive revelation. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. This is talking about the 1,000 years of peace that will come after Jesus Christ returns to the earth. But the very start of the verse is referring to Judgment Day. And he shall judge among the nations. Judgment Day will happen. No one can escape that. You need to prepare now for the outcome you want to receive on that day. O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Lord. Yea, come, for ye have all gone astray, every one to his wicked ways. And that is referring to all of us here on earth, regardless of whether you claim to be a follower of Jesus Christ. We all go astray, even if just by a small degree here and there. I consider myself to be a true follower of Jesus Christ, but I recognize that I too go astray, regularly, just by a few degrees here and there, sometimes by more than a few degrees here and there, and I'm therefore needing to continually check myself for errors in my course. We all go astray at times, and so we all need to continually think of ways we can be more exactly obedient. Therefore, O Lord, thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and hearken unto soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of strangers. When we go about our day, are we trying to please people? Are we letting our desire to please others impact or influence our decisions, when we should be letting the Holy Ghost, our commitment to our covenants, and the Lord's gospel be the things we allow to influence our thoughts and actions? When you go about your day doing good, what are your motives? Are you trying to please? As in, are you doing it so that people value you, compliment you, respect you more, and so that you become more popular, rather than doing what you're doing because it is the right thing to do? When we post to social media, are we trying to portray a beautiful and perfect picture to our followers? We only show the best bits on social media, don't we? But that's not a true picture of our life. No one has that picture-perfect life all the time, not even most of the time. Yet we, society, are falling into that trap of believing when we see other people's picture-perfect lives on social media. So then what do? We follow and show our picture-perfect lives on social media. But that's all fake. Why do you post to social media? What are your motives? Posting on social media isn't the issue. It is our motive for doing so. What drives you to do it? So you can update your friends and family on what you're up to? That's great. Are you doing it to show off? That's not so great. When you next post, think about what you are posting and why you are posting it. Are you doing it so that you get lots of likes? Are you doing it for the comments and compliments? Or are you doing it because you are simply sharing updates with your friends and family? I must admit, there have been many times when I've shared things to gain likes and compliments and to show off where I am or what I've got. But that's just prideful. Sharing on social media is fine, but always check your motives. Stop trying to show people you're a good person and just be a good person, even if no one is watching. I love photography, and there have been a few times when I've been in a beautiful place and taken lots of photographs, only to find out when I got home that I didn't actually experience that moment with my own eyes. I was too busy trying to capture it that I forgot to enjoy the moment. Don't be too busy trying to show people that you have a good life, that you actually miss out on having a good life. Their land also is full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land is also full of horses, neither is there any end of their chariots. We live in a world now where we have so many things in abundance and have therefore become a disposable society. In other words, we throw away and waste so much because it is no longer perfect. A shirt has faded slightly, throw it out. My shorts have a small tear, throw it out. My shoes have a scratch, throw them out. My furniture got a stain, a snag, a small break, throw it out. We don't even consider repairing, repurposing, or reusing something. We have so much in abundance that we don't think twice about chucking out and wasting things. We have the money to just buy a new one, so we do. Coming to Tonga has been very humbling for me because I don't have the opportunities to be so wasteful. Think about your own life, and I'm thinking about my own life too. How much stuff, how much clothes, how much food, how many things have you wasted because they no longer look perfect or no longer satisfied? I've wasted so much. I come across people here that can't even afford half the things I've wasted in my life. Their land is also full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. Two things in there. The first one, idols. Anything or anyone that we value more than God is an idol. When you're having a bad day, what or whom do you turn to first? If it is anything other than God, then you have an idol. When you've had the best day, to what or whom do you share that with first? If it is anything or anyone other than God, then you have an idol. I admit, when I'm feeling low, my first thought isn't always to pray and talk to God. My first thought is to sit on my phone and play a mind-numbing game. That's my idol. When I have great news or a great achievement, sometimes I do think to stop and tell God my good news and thank Him for helping me. But other times, my first thought is to post it on social media to gain the attention and praise of others. I'm recognizing my idols and I'm trying to make changes so that I can still have those things in my life, but they don't come before the Lord. Anything such as your phone, computer games, social media, food, shopping, the internet, and so much more. When you turn to those things for comfort and advice before turning to the Lord, you make it an idol and place it above God. The second part of the verse, it's talking about pride. We live in a very prideful time. As soon as we achieve something or do a good deed, that's great. But then we have to tell the whole world about it. Again, showing the world this picture-perfect view of what you can achieve, of what you have, of what you do. That's just pride talking. Go back to what I said earlier. What are your motives for sharing what you are about to share with someone? Don't get me wrong, it's great to share accomplishments and uplifting stories with those you care about, But if your motives are selfish, if you are sharing just to puff you up a bit, that is just pride. And the mean man boweth not down, and the great man humbleth himself not. Therefore forgive him not. If we are full of pride now, and we don't do anything to remove it, then we will be full of pride at Judgment Day. If you are full of pride, you aren't going to get to where we would like to be. O ye wicked ones, enter into the rock, and hide thee in the dust, for the fear of the Lord and the glory of his majesty shall smite thee. If we are full of pride, full of evil, full of whatever that is not holy, when the Lord comes again, this is exactly how we will feel. Knowing that we have already been given the law, and we haven't allowed that to fill our souls with love and holiness, then we will be one of those that will want to hide in a rock rather than see the Lord's face. That's not the outcome we want. And it shall come to pass that the lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. All our pride, all our vainness, it will mean nothing when the Lord comes. Our popularity, our social media followers, it will all mean nothing at that day. I'm talking a lot about social media on this video today, but that is the world we live in now. Everything is online. Everything is in public view. We publish everything that we do, but none of our pride or popularity will matter when Jesus comes again. So why do we let it matter so much now? We shouldn't. For the day of the Lord of hosts soon cometh upon all nations, yea, upon everyone, yea, upon the proud and lofty, and upon everyone who is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. The higher up we have lifted ourselves with pride, the further we have to fall when we see Jesus' face again. When the Lord comes again, we will all be humbled because of his greatness and his glory and majesty. If we are already humble, or close to it, then when he comes we will fall to our knees. That's not a long way to fall. But if we are full of pride, that is a long way to fall, and we will feel so ashamed when he comes. Yea, and the day of the Lord shall come upon all the cedars of Lebanon, for they are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills, and upon all the nations which are lifted up, and upon every people, and upon every high tower, and upon every fenced wall, and upon all the ships of the sea, and upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all pleasant pictures. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. No matter where you are in the world at the time of the second coming, we will all witness his glory and majesty, and either you will bow down in humility and feel so happy and rejoicing for such a beautiful moment, or you will fall down with shame and guilt, fear and trembling, because you realize you made a mess of things, and now the time is up. And the idols he shall utterly abolish. All our idols will be destroyed. They will amount to nothing when the Lord comes. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks, and into the caves of the earth, for the fear of the Lord shall come upon them, and the glory of his majesty shall smite them, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. Again, very repetitive this chapter, the same message being given over and over. Jesus Christ is coming soon. In that day we will all realize that our time is up. This is it. Time to measure up and see where we're at. Nothing else matters now. Our probation period on earth is now up. Are you sufficiently prepared to meet him? That's why we have right now to prepare. We have right now to improve. We have right now to become worthy to meet him. We have right now. You don't know when you will see the Lord, whether it's because you die, and you don't know when that will be either, or it will be because it's time for his second coming. It is that soon that we genuinely don't know anymore if you, who are listening to this, will be alive to see him come again. Either way, we don't know when our time is up, so now is the time to prepare. But he is coming soon. He is coming soon. This whole chapter has been a wake-up call reading this. Now is the time to prepare. In that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which he hath made for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats. We will realize in that day that none of our stuff matters, none of our wealth matters. It's all just stuff. To go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks, for the fear of the Lord shall come upon them, and the majesty of his glory shall smite them, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. Cease ye from man, whose breath is in his nostrils, for wherein is he to be accounted of? Again, repetitive, the same message throughout the chapter. Whenever we see the same message repeated over and over in a chapter, it means it's really important. Wake up, people. Time is running out. Jesus Christ is coming. You will see his face soon, whether because you die or because you are alive when he comes again. Either way, when that time comes, you have run out of time. Now is the time to prepare to meet him. Get rid of pride. Prepare for Judgment Day. Repent. Look out for the signs of the times. You will see him soon.